What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Caddy Shop Fantasy Football Podcast, a part of the Fantasy Six Pack Audio Network. I am your host, Dylan Clemens, and with me, like always, are my two co-hosts and the candy to this shop, the Mike and Ikes themselves, Michael Plant and Ike Bonney. Fellas, how are you doing today after a pretty awesome Thursday night football game yesterday?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was awesome, for the Seahawks, but I'm feeling pretty good. If you're a Debo owner, a Kittle owner, even a Purdy owner, showing out with 3 touchdowns. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty good. Hopefully we get another high-scoring weekend.
Not great for Jordan Mason owners, though.
No,
I mean, actually, good news came out that it was just an AC sprain. So, that was best case scenario for the injury. So, I mean, it's an injury nonetheless. But out of everybody that, is playing fantasy football this year, we're probably averaging one person on IR per team, per league.
And to be fair, too, that AC sprain, the shoulder injuries can be pretty concerning for running backs, too. We've seen Travis Etienne having to deal with it, too. And it's a big pain tolerance thing, and that's kind of what Kyle Shanahan alluded to yesterday or this morning when he said Mason was it hurt too bad for him to go back into the game. Once he came back in and got hit, it was tough, man. He was just there for emergencies. So what's up, Albert? Good to see you here again. Before we jump into the show tonight, I just want to remind everyone, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Then head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans to become an all-access member, guys. And that's where you get access to our award-winning rankings, or draft cheat sheets with hockey's already started, but you got NBA season right around the corner here, so make sure to check out our rankings and cheat sheets for basketball. You also get access to our F6P Discord, where you get custom league advice from anybody on the Fantasy Six Pack staff, and that truly is the best part, guys. And it's just for $9.99 a month. So once again, that's fantasy6pack.net/plans to become an all-access member. But guys, what do you say? Let's just jump right into things. And just a reminder, if for first-time listeners, how we do this is we're going to run through each game. Mike and Ike are going to give each a sweet player, someone who they're in on, and a sour player, someone that they're out on this week. The sweet player is more so someone who can win you the week. Sour is somebody that they could lose you the week. So let's jump right into things.
Go ahead, Mike. You probably have no choice but to start them, but just don't expect them to win you the week.
Yeah. But let's jump right into things here, starting with the Sunday morning game here. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Chicago Bears. The Jaguars are getting 1 point in London. Game total 44.5. Bears are missing some key pieces defensively. Tarek Stevenson, Jaquan Brisker is out today. And Mike, I know when we were talking earlier today, I told you that I kind of liked Terrell Smith and thought he was a solid player to fill in for Tyreek Stevenson. Well, that was short-lived because he was also ruled out. Jags are dealing with injuries themselves. Gabe Davis questionable, Evan Ingram questionable, but looking like he could play. But Ike, I'm going to kick it to you. Who do you love in this matchup? Who is an absolute smash play?
It's got to be Caleb Williams. Jaguars have allowed a top 12 quarterback every single week so far this year. So Caleb is ascending. He finally got his first QB1 finish last week. I just think he can improve on it with an easy matchup for sure. Everyone's healthy for him, offensively at least. So,
agreed.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick the low-hanging fruit and go DJ Moore here, but if DJ Moore is going to have a good game. No, he's not my guy, but that was a guy I was in consideration, just having another.
He should be your guy because this dude is about to go off, man.
It's low-hanging fruit, though.
The Jaguars have allowed 30
I feel like
it's
a Keenan Allen week.
Why?
I don't know. I just have a feeling that Keenan Allen, they're going to get him involved more, and they wanted to get him the ball more, and he seems to be, when he's playing, a red zone threat, although he drops the ball more than I would like to see, but they would like to get him more and more involved, I'd like to assume.
The Jaguars are 10th worst against slot receivers, but they're still worse on the outside against outside receivers. That's why I love DJ Moore, guys. At his receiving prop right now is like 66.5. And I texted you guys earlier that I'm doing everything I can to refrain myself from wagering my mortgage payment on that, man. he might smash that by halftime, if I'm being honest with you. I'm locking.
He could get it in one catch.
I'm absolutely locking it in. But Mike, I'll kick it to you, man. Who do you love in this matchup since you didn't really get to it?
Well, like I said, consideration was DJ Moore, but I didn't want to pick the low-hanging fruit, so I went, a little riskier here, and I'm going with Brian Thomas. So I understand the Bears defense here is a good defense against QBs and wide receivers, but like you alluded to in the beginning, they're beat up. All right, they're traveling to London. All right, if they're going to have some backups in there at defense, I don't think they're going to travel that well.
They've been in London, by the way. They've been there eating fish.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. Did you see that about Jacksonville? They were supposed to fly out 2 days ago or something, and they got stopped by the hurricane. So now their flight plans have been delayed, and I think they just got there today or something. So definitely
something to think about. I know you guys don't think like that affects games, but it does more than you would like to think so.
But go ahead, Mike. What do you got?
Well, all I want to say is, we're talking about the wide receiver 3 in PPR the last 3, wide receiver 7 the last 3 weeks in PPR. And one of those receivers is also Nico Collins, so you might as well take him out, and he's wide receiver 6. He is, the targets are sporadic. I do like what Jamie said there. He's fast, but they're not just using him on go routes either. All right. I know, like, come on, be real with me. Are you guys a little worried about the defense here? Even though they've been there, don't give me that shenanigans, but your guys' defense is banged up a little bit. All right. Go ahead.
The Bears haven't allowed 21 or more points in quite a few games. I'm pretty sure it's been like – I heard on an earlier morning talk show, so I'm not completely right. But it's been quite some time since they've allowed 21-plus points. So I believe in this Bears defense. I believe in Eberflus's defense for sure, even if he's missing a few pieces, even though Brisker is a key piece.
He's definitely a big piece here. This was a great point by JB here. Jalen Johnson. If BTJ is lined up for against Jalen Johnson for most of the game, it's not going to be a good game. But if he's moving around and he's not getting Jalen Johnson,
they have to move him around.
Agreed.
But then you're taking Christian Kirk out of his spot. So yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I'm being risky here. I know it may not pay off here. But Brian Thomas, all he needs is one. He had, 2 catches 3 weeks ago, and he had 90 yards off of it, and he's averaging 8.3 targets, 8.7 targets the past 3 games. So
I like him. I think
like
Brian Thomas is good, but still, it's a tough matchup for him.
I also think you're a homer, but Albert's got a question here. So you'd start BTJ over Moody this week, full point PPR. I would not start him over Moody. No, I with how many targets Mooney is getting in that.
That was 1 week.
No, it's not been 1 week.
I'm
13
here a little bit. This is a tough one, man.
He's had 10. He's averaging 10 targets the past 3 games. That's more than Brian Thomas. I mean, Brian Thomas is averaging 0.1 more points on average than Darnell Mooney, but Darnell Mooney is just safer.
I think I like Mooney too. Just to add on about the Bears defense, for some reason too, they've been getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And Mike, we've seen that the Jaguars offensive line could definitely struggle. So that also gives me a little bit of pushback.
They did all right against
Brian
the Colts last week. So, I mean, it's a
positive
they
stink
note.
Though.
I mean, so did the Bears O-line.
Yeah, true. But go ahead, Mike. I'll keep it with you here. Who's your sour play? Who don't you want to play in this matchup?
I mean, this one is an obvious one. But sometimes you gotta play him because running backs suck. It's ETN. If you got a chance to get ETN out of your lineups, I would get him out of your lineups. The way it's kind of going, and Joe talked about this on the show last night, is ETN's turning more into the passing down back, which, still can be valuable. All right, he still can be a flex play at that point, but he's not this RB2 that, or RB1 that we thought he would be. So if you got the opportunity, sit ETN. I mean, Tank Bigsby seems like he's going to be the, middle down backs. It's not, and he's even getting more of the red zone work. So
he looks more explosive too.
I mean, yeah, just more talented. Although it's not like I'm saying, Tank Bigsby is an RB2 either. He's basically a flex play at this point too, because I just feel like it evens out more as far as, the snaps go. Like on the season, Bigsby's got 22% of the snap share at ETN 60%. I fully expect that to even out and most likely quick because Bigsby, according to fantasy data, is averaging 65 points per 100 snaps compared to ETN's 32. So pretty much doubles them.
Yeah, Bigsby's been
really good, man.
He's been efficient with his touches for sure. ETN doesn't look healthy right now, guys. It just kind of is what it is to me.
Most people don't have the luxury to sit him. But
if you have a shoulder injury, I'm sure you don't want to get hit very often. So I get it.
Agreed. Is that your guy too, Ike? Is he your sour play?
No, I was going to say Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Bears haven't allowed a top 12 fantasy quarterback this year, so I'm assuming that's going to continue with a struggling Jaguars team.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, man. And just to add to that a little bit, Jalen Johnson, 5 games, allowed 9 receptions on 17 targets for 108 yards and 0 touchdowns. There's only one cornerback.
Is he going to be Brian Thomas most of the time?
He doesn't shade. It's wherever they put Brian Thomas.
Yeah, obviously.
Because
Christian Kirk is playing the slot no matter what. You don't see Brian Thomas there very much. Maybe a few snaps here and there. So it'll be interesting. And with no Gabe Davis, they'll probably put Jalen on him more often than not.
Yeah, for sure. Only one cornerback better than him in the football, and that's Patrick Surtain, the guy in Denver. So jump in here from Tyler. No, that is what it is. Like Antonio
I'm a
Gibson,
homer, but I don't know about that.
Braylon Allen, Rashawn Johnson, I'm assuming, or Jerome Ford here. Where are we failing here?
Antonio Gibson with Stevenson out. I got more on Ford later.
I think that's where I'll go actually too. It's definitely not a sexy play, but I get it. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I agree with Ike. With Ramondre Stevenson ruled out, I'd go Gibson with that one. Just guaranteed.
Surprising ruled out, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler said he's thinking Roschon or Gibson. Oh, we like Gibson here. Like we said, we were talking. We think the Bears, if they're going to beat up Jacksonville anywhere, they're going to beat them up through the air. So, let's go Gibson here. The next game here. Go ahead, Mike.
Just don't chase those 2 touchdowns for Roschon because the volume's still going to Swift.
Yeah, it's not enough volume. That's for sure, Mike. Good point there. The next game here, we got the Washington Commanders taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Commanders have Brian Robinson questionable heading into this one, a true game time decision. It's kind of scary, guys. He talked about another guy who was saved by 2 touchdowns, kind of similar to Roschon. That was Brian Robinson Jr. last week. He's definitely hampered by the injury. Ravens have Ronnie Staley, Marlon Humphrey questionable. Mike, we'll start with you this time, my friend. Who is your sweet play in this matchup?
Why you gotta start with me? No, it's I know, but it's just you also follow. It's whatever. It's Jane Daniels. It's a little obvious, but I love Jane Daniels this week, and the reason why I say this because even in the league where we play 6-point passing touchdowns and you get a point per 10 passing yards, which is a little nuclear. I still am going to play Jaden Daniels this week against the Ravens over Jalen Hurts against the Browns. All right. And you gave me, ammo already by saying Brian Thomas is a game time decision, which just makes me think even if he does play, he's not going to be used a whole lot. They're going to have to rely on Eckler and the backup RB Nichols, and Eckler's going to be involved in the passing game more than the running game because you just cannot run against the Baltimore Ravens, but you can't pass against them. Allowing the 4th most fantasy points to QBs, one of 8 teams allowing 20-plus fantasy points to QBs. So I just think this is one of those games where they like to talk about Mario Kart being Rainbow Road. This is one of those games.
Yeah, rainbow strip for sure, man. We saw what Burrow did last week to this Ravens defense. You could throw on him. It's just a fact now. With the defensive coordinator moving over to Seattle McDonald in the offseason,
I know you guys don't agree with me. I know you don't agree with me, but Jane Daniels is a much better passer than people give him credit for. So I think he can. I think he can. You know, if the Ravens go up big, man, Jane Daniels get all the garbage time, and I don't think he wins. And like overall, I do not think the Commanders win this game, but I think they make it a hell of a match.
Vegas doesn't think they win this game either. Vegas isn't even really giving them a chance, Michael Plant. What would you guys guess the line is here? Because I didn't announce it.
I figured it'd be a field goal because they're on the road, but since they're on the road now and you're giving me that answer, I'd probably say like 5 or 6 points.
7. Which was surprising to me when I saw that. It makes me kind of want to take the Commanders here. Like you said, I don't know if they're going to win, but their offense, man, is clicking on all cylinders right now. So to keep that within a touchdown game, I think is definitely doable for the Commanders. But we'll kick it to Ike here. Who is your sweet play in this matchup?
Zay Flowers.
All right.
Like LePlante said,
medium play Zay, right?
Medium play Zay. He said that the Ravens can be beat through the air. The Commanders can be beat through the air. So it could be an air fest. I doubt it because the Ravens like to run. But if they do pass, it's going to Zay Flowers. He saw a bunch of targets last week. He looked good last week after coming off 2 weeks prior of being kind of brutal. But this is a good matchup for him to just keep going with the confidence, keep getting like those targets and all that. So I like him in this week.
I'm going to keep pounding the table for it. Sorry, Mike. I'm going to keep pounding the table for it. He is a game script wide receiver. Zay Flowers is. In a game where they're going to need to throw the ball, he's going to be extremely valuable for your fantasy teams. In games that they could get ahead on, and they're just cramming it down their other team's mouths with Derrick Henry. Yeah. It's you just kind of got to.
And with the way you guys are talking, Jane Daniels is going to make it a game, so Zay Flowers has to be the guy that gets targeted the most. But it's very possible that the Ravens figure something out for Jane Daniels because he's similar to Lamar. They can kind of game plan similar to him. Maybe they might be able to shut him down for the first time this year.
All right, right on. Mike, you got something to add, or did we kind of talk about it?
No, you talked about it. We can move on to the sour player.
Why don't you just give it to us then? Give it to me, Neil.
Give it to me, Neil.
Who is it? Ike.
You. No, I told you to do it because you were talking.
All right, it's Mark Andrews. I know we kind of had, a little bit of a revival week last week. Don't fall for it. Just don't fall for it. Sit Mark Andrews, guys. There are better options out there. If you can go get Cole Kmet off the waiver wire, go get him. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Taysom Hill's playing this week, but I would rather play Taysom Hill than Mark Andrews. That's basically to the extent of how bad I want to sit Mark Andrews, guys. Don't.
Yeah, I dropped him, so it's not great for him. It was great to see that he was involved a little bit late in the game last week, but still, it's not. It's not great that you're seeing Charlie Kohler score.
Third in the pecking order and routes runs at the tight ends and stuff, or snap share or something, dude.
Also third in the pecking order as far as fantasy points scored on his own team for tight ends.
Yeah, he's a butthole.
Tight ends suck, man. It is what it is. Why waste a pick on them? Just pick up freaking Johnny Munt, and you'll get a touchdown at random times.
I don't know about Johnny. I don't know about him.
At least he won't score you a 0 like Mark Andrews did for me twice. All right.
I think the wounds are just deep for you and Frosh.
Yeah, I won both weeks. Who
do you got for your sour play?
I agree with LaPlante. It's Mark Andrews.
Guys, that was the lowest of lowest hanging fruits I've ever heard.
Who else do you want to go in this matchup?
Not true.
You're supposed to pass a lot. What do you want me to say? Diami Brown?
I considered Brian Robinson.
You're playing Terry McLaurin. He's going to do good.
You're
playing Zay Flowers. He's going to do good.
I know how I feel between you two assholes, Mike.
He's just taking the show by the reins, and he can have it. But I was going to say Brian Robinson, but the injury, like I said, I just don't think he'll be that involved in the game plan because the Ravens are hard to run against, anyways, and he's banged up.
That's incredible, Albert. I like that one. Mark Andrews has 22 PPR points. Charlie Kohler has 21.
Charlie Kohler is fucking good, man.
That is correct.
You got Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts with
Jordan
AJ
Love.
Brown and Devonta Smith both back.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, I'd go Jordan Love on that one.
I got it for later, but yeah, I can go on Jordan Love.
Yeah, like in my pecking order, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, and then Jalen Hurts.
All right, I'm going to go Jalen.
I go Jordan over Jaden, but sure, yeah, I like it.
Out of a homer like you, that's surprising.
He's been good, man. I hate it, but he's been good for fantasy.
Who are we talking about?
Jordan.
Yeah, he's just he looks
Second
like Aaron Rodgers, plays like Brett Favre, man.
He is.
That's perfect for fantasy.
Weird guy, man. Well, the next game here, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Green Bay Packers. We're here, guys, actually. Cardinals getting 5.5 points on the road. Game total 47. Cardinals still without Zay Jones. His suspension is up, but he's still been ruled out. Devontae Wyatt for the Packers on the defensive side of things. Christian Watson and Jair Alexander, both questionable heading into this one. Ike, we'll start with you. Who is the sweet player, and why is it Jordan Love?
It's Jordan Love because in his last 6 games, he's been a QB1 in 5 of those. I don't know what it is. The first half of the game, he just does weird things, throws picks in the end zone, and I don't know. But when the second half comes around, he just destroys. So you can count on him to be QB1 for most weeks, to be honest, because they love to throw there.
That's coaching adjustments, man, I feel. Matt LaFleur is a top 3 coach in the NFL, it feels like to me. He's
top
so
10.
good, man. No. At least top 5. Name me 4 coaches who are better than him in the NFL right now.
I don't want to right now. I don't want to right now.
All right. While Ike's thinking about it, LaFleur, what else do on that? Who is
I don't want to interrupt. You guys are talking so nice about the Packers. Keep going.
I hear it, man. I don't like it. LaFleur is a stud. My wife thinks so too.
Yeah, just for different reasons.
Yeah.
My sweet play here is, and it's not a low hanging fruit because of how bad he has been playing lately, but it's Marvin Harrison Jr. Jair Alexander has missed the last 2 games. He's had limited practices all week, so he's probably going to be another game time decision. I'm just not too positive about it. The backup cornerbacks, being the resident Packer fan, are not that great. So I think this is a game where Marvin Harrison gets back on track because he's just out there the most. All right. I understand it. He's getting the targets. It's just they're not connecting, and it's he's probably hitting that rookie wall after these good performances he's had. Only a couple, and then 3 bad weeks, but at the same time, he's gonna get it together with the Packers here.
Great stat here. Jamie Love is the best QB versus cover 3. Cardinals play cover 3
See?
the most in the league.
Told you, man. Jordan Love.
This should be another good game too. It's in Lambeau. It should be decent weather. It's not cold yet. We got 2 defenses here that are a little suspect. The Packers allow a decent amount of yards, and they kind of stiffen up in the red zone here, but they struggle against running quarterbacks. So Kyler Murray can have a day here as well.
Yeah, for sure. Before we jump into the sour picks, I just want to get your thoughts here, guys, on what we saw from Dontavian Wicks last week. Mike, I'll just start with you, man. He was everyone's waiver wire darling, and then just completely
I told you not to.
Even though,
not to start this guy.
The problem is, he saw 25% target share.
That's fine.
The process was right.
His hands don't work. Yeah. I talked to that with Mike too. His
Mike Evans' hands didn't work when he was a rookie either. Dontavian.
Unfortunately, he's not a rookie. So
Oh, his second year, but it's his rookie year because he didn't play at all his rookie year. So like the process was right on Dontavian Wicks, but it's a great transition. Thank you, because he is my sour pick. In this matchup,
I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't think that was going to be the case here, but I'd like to hear.
That's an interesting. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't think Christian Watson is going to play this week, but he has been practicing. Which is surprising. And then you also got Romeo Doubs, who's back from the 1 week suspension here. Jaden Reed's the main guy. Tucker Kraft seems to be getting involved here, getting schemed up by LaFleur. And if the Packers get the opportunity, they're going to run the ball. So I just don't think this is a week. If Dobbs is healthy, all right, I'm sitting Wicks if I can.
He's healthy. He's just angry, man.
You know what I mean. But I just, there's too many mouths to feed in this offense, and I think Wicks is, sit him on the bench, until unfortunately we have another injury.
All right, interesting. I kick it to you.
Josh Jacobs. He is my sour play with Jordan Love at quarterback. He has one top 20 finish. So we all know Jordan Love likes to throw the ball more.
All right, I'm sick of you interrupting me, so I'm going to interrupt you here. How are you going to give me Josh Jacobs as the sour player when the Cardinals allow more points to running backs than the Packers right now?
Because I just told you Jordan Love likes to throw the ball, and that when Jordan Love is at quarterback, Josh Jacobs does not finish very well. I literally just said it.
No, I understand that, but the process is not right there, because on the season, Josh Jacobs still has the most targets out of all the running backs.
Okay. Congratulations. You have the most targets from the Green Bay Packers running back room.
Go ahead. I just wanted to interrupt you since you interrupted me. So
I literally just said it.
Give me a process.
I literally just said it. He has one finish inside the top 20 with Jordan Love at quarterback.
Okay. And he would have had another one with Malik Willis if he didn't fumble on the 1 yard line.
I'm not talking about Malik Willis. I'm talking about Jordan Love.
He is.
With Jordan Love as the quarterback. Because he's going to play the quarterback the whole time. He has one top 20 finish. That means they don't use him as much as you want him to.
Think. Fucking chucking at football, man.
Because he likes to throw, Mike LaPlante. Come on. Think.
Look at this, Ike.
I understand that. Ike. But when he's the running back that's getting the most targets, if there's a running back.
I like that one. That one's funny.
The ball. Is that a male witch?
Yes. Yes, that is.
I mean, he's screaming like one.
Show him the broom.
I don't have one. I wish I did. You should.
Yeah, no, you haven't. It's up your ass.
He's sitting.
It's Halloween. I fucked up. I'm sorry, guys. I fucked up.
We'll move on to the next game before we do, though. Got from Rams House 99 Dynasty full PPR, tight end premium. We got a Superflex start 11, 12 man. He's 3-7 playing double headers. Kyler, Caleb, Bijan, Hill, Rome, Ladd, T, Hawk, McBride. I traded Bijan for Reed and JSN. Thoughts?
I don't know about that one.
Mike, you're the resident Bijan owner here. How do you feel about Bijan for Jaden Reed, who we like, and JSN, who I sent in our group chat last night? That JSN is nice, guys. Mike, what are your thoughts here about that trade?
I mean, I'm looking here at the players here, and his two running backs are Bijan Robinson and Justice Hill, and he just traded away Bijan for two more wide receivers. I'm not gonna lie, Rams House, I wouldn't have done that just because it doesn't seem like your other running backs are that great behind them, but your wide receivers are fantastic.
Fuck running backs, man. Fuck them.
Yeah. There you go. Mr. Scamper is like, it's a young Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. All right, next game we got here on the docket. The Houston Texans taking on the New England Patriots. Texans minus 6.5 on the road with a game total of 37.5. Vegas does not see many points being scored in this game. Drake May starting for the Patriots. Texans are without Robert Woods, the league's leading receiver, Nico Collins, and Joe Mixon is questionable heading into this one. How about Joe Mixon throwing some shade at TJ Edwards this week, Ike? talking about how he was leading the league in rushing yards, and then he got tackled by the dirty hip drop tackle. He's not wrong. It was pretty.
13 dirty plays.
And then the Pats are without Ramondre. We talked about it a little earlier with a foot injury. Then we got KJ Osborne, Kendrick Bourne, both questionable. Michael Platt, we'll start with you because we alternate here. Who is your sweet play?
I hate you. This one is going to be. I'm going to go out on another limb here. Ike, you can take the low-hanging fruit here. But I'm going to go Tank Dell. And maybe it's not as low as, or high.
We agree. We agree.
But, Stephon Diggs is going to most likely draw Christian Gonzalez. If there is a shadow here, Jamie can correct me if not. But other than that, the Patriots are a top 12 at allowing wide receivers, fantasy points in PPR. So this is a good matchup for a get-right week for Tank Dell. It wasn't, his fault. I mean, I still don't – I'm worrisome here because I don't think he'll get like some, 20-plus week, but I think he's guaranteed 15 points in this matchup. Just because I think the floor has risen now with Nico Collins out. Joe Mixon is questionable, and, if he does play, how much of a workload does he receive? He got 30 touches his first game in the NFL. Do you really see that? Not in the NFL, on the Texans. Do you really see him getting that again if he's coming back from a high ankle sprain? So, give me Tank Dell in a decent matchup for a get-right game.
Jamie, can you let us know if Gonzalez even shadows in the slot? Because if I'm not mistaken, Diggs has even been seeing a lot of stuff in the slot, a lot of work from the slot as well. But, Mike, I absolutely love this call about Tank Dell. The other comment here, no excuse for Dell with Nico out now, and I agree. We've been seeing, Nico Collins just be big play after big play, and now with him out, that's what they're going to need Tank Dell to do, man. I agree 100%. FanDuel DFS agrees with you 100% too. They raised his price to like $6,700 this week. And Tank Dell hasn't done anything all season long, guys. So they know what's about to happen too. So I like that call a lot. Ike, it seems like you like that call a lot as well.
Granted,
the slot.
Stephon Diggs wasn't there last year, but when Tank Dell played without Nico Collins, he was a wide receiver 12, so I expect him to be targeted heavily.
Absolutely fair. Who is your sour play here, Ike?
This is easy. With Stevenson out, you can basically say the whole Patriots offense. Pretty sure Drake May is starting too for his first time.
Yeah, locked in, yep.
He's got to go against Willie Anderson and Danielle Hunter. So I would avoid most Patriot players this week. I know you're not starting most of them anyways, but the one guy obviously you probably could start is maybe Antonio Gibson just because of dump-offs and shit like that because of the pass rush. But other than that, leave Patriots alone.
I disagree with you on that one. I think there's two players you can start this week, but they're both flex players. Antonio Gibson just because of the volume, but it's still a tough matchup. Houston is 7th toughest against running backs, allowing under 20 points. But the other one is Demario Douglas. I know Drake May starting.
I could say Hunter Henry, but that's fine.
I just see with
just
Drake
because short yardage.
Well, yeah, with Drake May starting here, if they're going to get the short yardage game going, Demario Douglas is the QB's best friend. So, it being that we play PPR, amongst us three, I think Demario Douglas is a solid flex play. 8 to 10 points.
Right. Yeah.
With Drake May as the starter in New England, is there a pass catcher who you guys are intrigued by moving forward? Is it is Polk, Mike? Okay, give me your thoughts on him.
Well, I mean, it's just trust the draft capital, 2nd round pick. I mean, they did go old school with him, and he had to work his way on the field here. But last week he played majority of the most snaps for the wide receivers. So I mean, I feel like Polk and May. They've been working in the offseason. They drafted in the same draft class. That's the one I'm intrigued here because Polk's also a downfield threat. May's got the cannon. True.
Polk's the receiver who got hosed on that call in the back of the end zone, right, last week?
Yeah, which makes no sense, but But JSN gets that call last night.
I thought you could toe tap.
Do you want to go on the rant, or do you want me to
go ahead?
I don't understand. Can someone in the comments explain to me why it's okay to toe drag swag on the sideline or in the front of the end zone, but you have to have your toe and your whole heel down in the back line of the end zone? Why
I didn't know that was this year.
Is that a thing? We've seen it in the past. It's not just this year. That is the most ridiculous rule in football.
It is a ridiculous rule, but it's when you're falling backwards out of the end zone, you have to have the full heel down. It's so weird.
It doesn't make any sense. But that's it. That's all it is. Scabber said momentum and positioning. I hate it.
I don't even know what that means.
I mean,
go ahead, Mike.
No, it is what it is. I just want the NFL to change the rule.
Cam agrees with us too, and he's got a question here. Starting lineup is Mayfield, Mason Henry, Diggs, London, Mooney, Conklin, bench, Geno, Mixon, Devontae Adams, Pittman, Tolbert, Bucky, Cooper, and CMC on IR. Should I make some trades? 3 and 2.
Probably should start Cooper.
I mean, if you're gonna make a trade,
Cooper Kupp on IR.
Okay. I thought it was Amari Cooper.
If you're thinking about making some trades here, I mean, I say, it's trade either London or Mooney. I mean, just kind of split the gap there because you're limiting your ceiling.
Unfortunately, you missed your shot on Mason.
Yeah.
Because CMC and all that.
Yeah, Cam, I would see what you could get for Darnell Mooney. I kind of like that call from Mike. I'm a Drake London owner. I wasn't thrilled about it coming into this season.
London's had a few good games. Maybe you could get something for him.
I don't want to move off him though. Like after what we've
depends on what you can get. You can field offers for him.
Well, what I'd be doing is if you really want to upgrade, package Mooney with like Tolbert, maybe Bucky with the Rashad White doubtful this week. You're getting a spot start from a running back that you can sell to that your trade partner. But I think you could package Mooney and somebody else there to even get an upgrade like. Someone in the realm of like I don't know, DK Metcalf maybe.
What if he tries and pulls off a CMC trade for somebody who's desperate for like a big name guy?
No one's taking CMC right now.
You don't think so?
No.
There might be someone desperate for it. I doubt it, like LaPlante said, but it'd be worth just seeing like, hey, who wants CMC?
All right, answer this question for me. Like, would you trade for CMC from Gary in our league? There you go. So no, nobody's gonna.
I don't need to. I'm 4-1 or whatever.
That's even more reason. That's even more reasoning that you should be going.
Why though? Why would I want to disrupt my team chemistry?
You're closer to the playoffs. Where you
team chemistry? You don't know about team chemistry, man. You don't know about
it. We know he doesn't know about it after we saw the way he runs his college football 25.
Yeah, no chance.
For a question from Bundles here, RB2, should I start Zach Boss, Chase Brown, or Antonio Gibson? I hate it.
I like Chase Brown the most out of all of them.
He's got the highest ceiling.
Back-to-back RB1 finishes, man.
He's got the highest ceiling. He definitely does. If you had to play like Deebo Samuel this week, I'd play Chase Brown and chase the ceiling. I guess pun intended. But if you want to play it safe, you can't go wrong with either Zach Moss or Antonio Gibson with the workload. Zach Moss is more of an RB2. Like I said, Gibson's more of a flex play.
I just hate it, man, because we don't know what we're getting from the Bengals running backs now. It's not like Zach Moss is even the red zone threat because we've been seeing Chase work in that down there too. Chase Brown, I mean, like it kind of it's just a matter of which running back is in at the time. Like they're like a poor man's version of Montgomery.
It's kind of a trend now that Chase Brown is the dude back-to-back RB1 finishes. He has 12 plus rushes in both games.
But just
he's the better receiving guy
too. He's
the better receiving guy. So I think I like Chase Brown more than Zach Moss for the rest of the season.
All right, right on. Brody says playoffs. You talking about playoffs? You like or love Bucky this weekend, guys? we'll actually tell you right now as we get into that game, guys.
It's
Tampa Bay
fine.
Buccaneers taking on the New Orleans Saints. Bucks favored by 3.5 on the road over the Saints. Saints without Derek Carr starting. Spencer Rattler, who's been on our TV screens here for a while, ever since going back to that Netflix show, where was an interesting edit from that Netflix show, to say the least, for him. Trey Palmer also out. Rashad White is doubtful, leaving the door open for maybe some Bucky Irving usage this week. Saints are also without Taysom Hill. Kendry Miller also questionable in this one. Ike, we'll kick it to you, man. Who is your sweet player in this Bucks Saints NFC South divisional matchup?
Well, if Rashad White's out, Bucky Irving should be the guy you should pick. But I also like Rashid Shaheed. He's finished as wide receiver 15, wide receiver 13, 25, and 15. 20 targets the past 2 games. He looks fine. Granted, that was with Derek Carr. This is now Spencer Rattler, so you're not really sure how that's going to go. But I still think he's the deep threat in that offense, and he's the game changer that if they need one, he will be the guy.
The way Spencer Rattler is talking, though, man, it might be a Chris Olave week. He talked about how he's different and how he's just going to try and get him the ball and let him go to work. So that'll be interesting to see.
Congratulations. You just spoiled your whole game plan. Now to fucking double them.
Just to help Dan out here, going back to that question prior, like if you had Zach Moss, Chase Brown, I forget who the other, Antonio Gibson, would you start Bucky over those 3 guys here, or do you like those?
I would have to know if Rashad White's out or not.
Well,
if he is out for sure.
He's doubtful. That's out pretty much.
He's out.
I still like Chase Brown a lot, man. He's been really good lately, but Bucky's going to be the main guy, so you have to go for him.
Mike, thoughts?
I like him. I don't love him. I like him. He's going to get the volume here. He's another solid flex play, just like Antonio Gibson. He offers you a little bit more upside because this is a better offense. You have more touchdown potential here. And actually maybe even more target potential here because Rashad White is out. But I do not love him because my sweet pick, my love pick this week is Chris Godwin. And it's pretty simple. When Mike Evans goes up against the Saints, him and Marshawn Lattimore get into it. There tends to be a fight. And I would, if there is a bet out there, Dylan, because I'm not the betting guy, that Mike Evans, gets kicked out of this game, I would be taking whatever odds the bet is. I don't mean it, in a bad way. I mean it as a joke, but sincerely, man, like him and Lattimore have it at each other, and I'm sure the refs are fully aware of this. Chris Godwin is going to eat. He hasn't had, the past 2 weeks. He's wide receiver 33 and 40 in PPR formats. But I just believe here that Chris Godwin has, one of those top, 15 performances. He won't have another top 10 performance like week 1 and 2, but top 15, I think, from Chris Godwin this week.
I like it. Hit us with your icky play.
Oh, man, it's Chris Olave. I know Spencer Rattler came out and said he's going to pepper him, but, we've seen it.
He shit the bed on that comment.
What? The Olave comment?
Yeah, why do you... Hey, I'm going to target this guy. Everybody, just let you know. Hey, I'm going to this guy over here.
Maybe it helps your Shaheed take.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kamara.
I like
but
this.
I think Kamara's... Yeah.
Evans might take his helmet off and hit him with it. I was the only guy.
Fuck, Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson all over again.
Yeah,
I was the only guy to ever take my skate off and try to stab somebody.
Finnegan and Andre Johnson.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph, Myles Garrett from a couple years ago. Yeah,
it's Olave. You're starting him, but just don't expect a top 15 performance like he gave you 2 weeks ago. It's probably going to be another one like last week, but maybe worse.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Ike, who's your guy here?
I'm surprised he was talking about Godwin because I'm a little sour on him this week. It's been 3 straight weeks where he's finished as a wide receiver 20 or worse. I mean, he's getting the
21
targets.
week 3. Way to pepper up that stat. He finishes wide receiver 21 week 3.
It counts. But still, from what from the first 2 weeks, you expected Godwin to continue this. He's getting the targets, but still, he's not performing what you would expect the past few weeks. So temper expectations. Don't expect him to win you a week. Don't
listen to him. He finished as wide receiver 8 week 1 and wide receiver 6 week 2. He's not that. We know.
Then 30 plus.
We know he's not that. No, week 3 was 21. That's acceptable. That's acceptable. We drafted him to be a wide receiver 2.
No, I drafted him to be wide receiver 1. All right, come on.
Easy.
I'm just kidding.
Saints are about middle of the pack against slot receivers, so you take it or leave it there. But if you think Mike Evans is going to have a bad week because of Marshawn Lattimore, I can see why you go Godwin.
I mean, I told you to sit Mike Evans when he went up against Surtain, man. Sit Mike Evans when he goes up against Marshawn Lattimore. If you can't,
I don't think Lattimore is that guy anymore, man. If I'm being honest with you, but we'll see.
Dude, it's mind games.
Did you give us your sour play, Ike? I don't remember.
I did.
All right. Before we move on, we got did we already do this one?
No.
Jaden Daniels, Dobbins, Hubbard, AJ Browns.
Started 3 wide receivers and a flex.
I like it. I like it. I don't think that's a question. I think it's just the roster. Solid, man, for sure. Half point PPR, we got Andrew, Jerome Ford, or Rico Dowdle.
Oh, it's half point PPR.
Oh my God.
I actually like Dowdle this week, but only because he's going to get involved in the passing game like last week. He saw 5 targets last week, and if he can get that again against the Lions, it's going to be inefficient on the ground. But with
I go Dowdle as well.
With those two other
right
options,
answer here. Yeah.
Ford's been bad.
I think that's the right answer for sure. From
Can't
Kyle
play
B, we
Andrews.
got Ferguson or Trey McBride here, PPR. Give me Trey.
Yeah, I want Trey as well. I think the passing game for the Cardinals looks better. He saw 5. He got 5 receptions last week for 60 plus yards. I remember it's not great, but it's acceptable and it's better than Ferguson.
I feel like Ferguson's good as well, but I go McBride.
Agreed there. Need 1 RB and 1 flex. Pollard, Monty, Kirk, Tolbert, Bowers. I'm starting Mason, St. Brown, Terry, and McBride. David Montgomery is locked into your lineup, and Tony Pollard is locked into your lineup for me. That's where I'm going, guys. How about you?
Monty and Bowers.
Yeah, it's Monty and Bowers for me.
You don't like Pollard this week in the matchup, huh?
I think Tajay Spears is getting a lot more work than you'd like for Pollard owners.
And I'm not scared off by AOC being the starting quarterback with Bowers.
Plus Devontae out. Jacoby is questionable.
Yep. So Bowers
I don't agree
and
with
Monty.
it, guys. Don't agree with it, but I respect it. Guys, if we're helping you answer your questions, if you could do us a favor as well, hit that like button. We really appreciate it, and subscribe if you're not already.
How about that Lattimore one?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mike. I don't know what you put. Go ahead.
It was this. I was going to say, Lattimore apparently still him, Dylan.
No, it's not.
I trust
you. Limited playing time, obviously. Don't
forget the Fantasy Six Pack has a Sunday Start Sit show. Make sure to check that out, the Sunday Social on Sunday at 10:30 Eastern time, guys.
I know you don't care about this, but Dodgers win.
Nice.
I don't like that.
Hey, good for Ohtani.
It's good for the MLB to have Ohtani in the playoffs still. So.
Agreed.
Yes. Looking at the next game here, guys, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to do another guess the lines here. What do you guys think this line is for the Eagles, who haven't been spectacular, but the Browns have been atrocious?
I think I remember listening to this one, and I think it's like 6.
9.5.
What?
Vegas is out on the Browns, and can you blame them?
No.
No, I can't blame them.
I mean,
the Eagles have been bad too.
That's what I mean. The Eagles haven't been great. They've been missing some weapons here, but 9.5 seems a little high. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not wagering it because I cannot put money on Deshaun Watson. Never gonna happen. Mike, we'll start with you, man. Who is your sweet player here?
I'm not going to pick the low-hanging fruit, even though I love A.J. Brown this week. I love Saquon Barkley this week against this defense. But it's Devontae Smith. I think Dallas Goedert now goes back to where he came from with all these guys healthy. And Devontae Smith, I think, is guaranteed, at least 6 to 7 targets, which against this defense, they're 13th best against wide receivers for matchups. I think Devontae Smith could have a solid week here where he can get you probably about 18 plus points.
I'm with you there, but if you wanted to take the low-hanging fruit with A.J. Brown, I think I would have allowed you to because he smashes man coverage, and if I'm not mistaken, Cleveland plays a ton of man coverage, and he's going to...
Oh, there's no way Denzel Ward can follow him around. No way.
A.J. Brown is going to eat. I kick it to you. Who is your sweet play?
First off, I'm noticing a trend that LaPlante doesn't like the players that are on my team for fantasy in the main league. I'm noticing that right now. For some reason,
I don't even know who's on your team.
Just seems
I can't
Dale
even recall your
Scott just seems to.
Yeah. I know you got CeeDee Lamb.
But I was gonna go Jalen Hurts. He gets his.
Well, it would be funny though because you traded for Mark Andrews. He gives you 2 goose eggs, and then Dallas Goedert. Everybody's healthy now again, and then he just falls off a cliff. It would fit right into what's been happening to you.
Oh, for sure.
I love this, Jamie. That's fantastic, man.
Joe
Flacco.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say Jalen Hurts. He got all his weapons back. He should be fine.
Yeah, no, I expect a big game from Jalen Hurts in this one too. I would say I think he's got top 5 quarterback upside this week and pretty much rest of the season with his weapons back, man.
I'm just worried, man, that
he's still the same guy, Mike.
No. It's not. I'm worried about him. I'm worried about the Browns keeping up. They in the second half just run it down their throats with Saquon Barkley. That's kind of what I'm afraid of.
How stubborn do you have to be as an owner to keep trotting that idiot out there at the quarterback position?
When you pay $200+ million, you kind of have to.
No, you don't. You have Jameis freaking Winston on your bench, man. What's the worst that could happen? You suck.
You never spent $200 million on a person to play football.
We don't know what's happening in the locker room.
But it's probably not a great feeling.
Mike, I'm gonna let you know there's a 5% chance that Deshaun Watson's teammates like him.
I mean, we don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. You might be right, but here's the thing: it's not all Deshaun Watson's fault either. I mean, last week Jerry Jeudy had a touchdown right in his hands. You want to talk about Wicks not knowing how to use his hands? Jerry Jeudy doesn't look like
he's never known how.
But then Amari Cooper's been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a touchdown called back, like I said, 2 weeks ago, because of a phantom holding call. Just like DK's touchdown last night was called by.
It's not all on Deshaun. He's been bad, but still.
What is on it? But doesn't Deshaun have like a 4.8 yards per attempt or something crazy like that? That's not good, guys.
I've seen worse.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, Bo Nix.
Pretty much towards the bottom of the league.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.8.
That's what it is, Mike. Is it 32nd in the league, or is it worse than that?
I just looked up the team. Let me go here.
Yeah, and then player profiler. Shout out to them.
It has to be Bo Nix, who at one point completed 7 passes for -5 yards.
That was incredible when we were watching football. The second half, he's got -7 yards, and we're like, what?
Watson is 44th.
44th, like. Dude, it's bad. It really
could be worse.
No, it can't. Could
be 45th.
There's only 32 starters.
Yeah, I mean the only person I'd really be starting from this offense is Amari Cooper, and it's just because of the volume. It's not great, but he's not my sweet play. But my sour plays here are pretty much everybody but Amari Cooper.
Jerome Ford.
Yeah. I think we could go ahead and move. Well, hold on. Let me get.
No, let's just go.
20 seconds on Nick Chubb.
He's not playing. He's ruled out.
What are your thoughts rest of the season? Is he pretty much dead to you guys?
At least for this season.
I don't want him.
This season,
you don't want anything to do with him this season.
Nah.
Okay.
No.
That's definitely fair with the
just this season.
Although he could make this offense better, but still,
All right.
You can shine a shit, but how much better does it look?
Jumping into the Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans game. Colts +2.5 on the road against the Titans game total 42.5. Colts are without Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, all questionable. The Michael Pittman thing threw me for a loop earlier today, Mike, and I texted you guys when we got an update that said Michael Pittman's going to play, and I'm like, why do I feel like I saw him report earlier to say that he was going on IR? Because that's what happened, but now all of a sudden he's going to play. Why do we keep getting these weird injury designation stuff, man? It's weird stuff going around. But anyways, Ike, we'll just start with you, man. I don't know whose turn it is, but who's your sweet play here?
I'm not gonna go sweet play because I don't like anybody really from these teams. So I'm gonna go sour, and I'm gonna go Michael Pittman since he's deciding to play. Don't fall into the trap. He's gonna be a decoy. I've fully expect him to not live up to the expectations that you even think he would if you even start him.
Yeah, I think that's fair here to go there. Mike, kick it to you, man. Who's your sour play since that's where I went?
In this matchup, my sour play is going to be Calvin Ridley. Will Levis is going to get the start here, but I just cannot fathom starting Calvin Ridley anymore. He had one good week, but since then, I believe he has less than 30 receiving yards in 2 games or 3 games. It's not good. DeAndre Hopkins is there too. I don't want him either. But yeah, for where we drafted Ridley, it's not great. And I'd be benching him if you have the opportunity. Like Darnell Mooney over Calvin Ridley, easily, hands down. And I know that before the season, that would just sounded disgusting.
Will Levis has just been so bad this year. Like I was in on him a little bit.
He makes for good entertainment, though.
Yeah, he definitely does. This whole offense is disappointed outside the running back position. And at this point, if Tennessee wants to win football games, guys, they're going to have to do it on the ground and the running game. Their offensive line that was skeptical heading into the season. They don't pass block well, but they do run block well. So that's what they're going to do. And that's why I absolutely love Tony Pollard this week in this matchup against the Colts.
2 top 30 finishes for Tyjae Spears in a row. So keep an eye on him too.
Ike likes him some Tyjae Spears here. Mike, do you have
not enough to start, by the way? I'm not saying start him, but be on the lookout.
Mike,
do you have a sweet play here out of this matchup? Who is it?
Yeah, it's one of those old candies you get from your grandparents here. It's Trey Sermon. And it's ugly here. It's not going to be efficient on the ground here, but the Titans do allow they've allowed 3 receiving touchdowns through 4 games to running backs, and Sermon did see 6 targets last week. He did fall into the end zone. He got majority of the snaps last week, 58% to 41 for Tyler Goodson. So he's one of those old, Werther, mints or caramels. He doesn't even have a wrapper.
I love it.
Probably just came out of your pocket.
But it's Trey Sermon if you're in a pinch.
Yeah, I'm all right with that call too, man. Jumping into the afternoon games, we got a West Coast showdown. The Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos. Chargers -3 on the road over the Broncos, actually, which is a little bit of a surprising line. Game total 35.5. Chargers without Gus Edwards in this one. They might get their tackleback. Rashad Slater is questionable. Broncos just without Josh Reynolds. Mike, we'll start with you here. Who is your sweet play in this matchup?
It's not great. This one's a worse game, I think, than the Colts Tennessee Titans game, just because I think it'll be low
defense,
scoring.
man.
Yeah, it's not great here, but I'm gonna go with the player, with my gut here, and it's J.K. Dobbins. Denver is easier to run on than they are to pass on, and let's be real, the Chargers don't pass at all, anyway, so they're just gonna want to control the tempo, and so give me J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah,
he's my love pick.
No Gus Edwards. Kamani Vidal will suit up this week, but I don't expect a big workload from him. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to get everything he can handle this week from a workload standpoint, so I'm with you there, even though it is a tough matchup.
Sweet, 15 touches.
I think we could see closer to 20 here with no Gus Edwards.
You think he can handle that, huh?
I think he can.
All right.
I think he can. What are you thinking here? Who's your sweet play here?
It's defenses for both teams. If you are in a defensive special teams league, play the Chargers or play the Broncos because both teams are going to struggle on offense.
Is there going to be enough sacks? Is there going to be enough turnovers in this one? That's what I worry about, though, here, man. If it's just going to be a punting fest or not, that's what worries me if you want to play one of these defenses.
Hey,
I agree.
If it's a punting fest
points,
and you can get 8 to 10 points and lose very little points, that's fine. You're good.
All right, fair enough. Who is your sour play, man?
Everyone?
Nice.
Do you really want to play Cortland Sutton against the Chargers, who are a good defense
don't.
with Jim Harbaugh? Okay.
You
really want to play Bo Nix and Javonte Williams?
You could get away with Javonte Williams.
Yeah, Javonte, maybe. Okay. But other than that, you're not playing very many people from both these teams. So I would avoid this game as much as possible. I know it's not a great sour pick, but still, this is not a game you want players from, to be honest.
Who are you going with, Mike?
Yeah, Javonte, he's the other guy I considered here for my sweet pick with J.K. Dobbins. So if you're in a pinch, you can go with Javonte. But my sour pick is going to be Quentin Johnston. Week 4, he got the Trent McDuffie treatment with Kansas City, finishing as wide receiver 90. Welcome to Surtan Island, Quentin Johnston. It's not fun. Enjoy your stay. There'll probably be a wide receiver 80 or worse, and that's what Surtan does to you. So I don't chase the Quentin Johnston touchdowns here because it ain't happening.
All right, quick, easy, straight to the point. I like it from that game here.
I wish I could say Ladd, but he plays too much of the slot, and I know Jamie says Surtan really doesn't go to the slot that much.
Yep. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Steelers -3 on the road. Game total 36.5. Not expecting many points scored in this game as Vegas. Steelers are without Cordero Patterson. Jalen Warren is questionable for this one. Raiders without Devontae Adams with hamstring/trade request. Michael Mayer is actually out as well. Zamir White, Jacoby Myers questionable heading into this one. Ike, we'll kick it to you, my friend. I'll let you take it away. Sweet or sour pick here, whatever you want.
I'll go sour. I'm going to go Najee Harris. He has 0 RB1 finishes, only 1 RB2 finish. He's been struggling. His efficiency is brutal, even with the guys out. Cordero Patterson looks better when he is healthy in the previous first or second few weeks. So it's not great for Najee Harris. I would, if you have a better option, I'd bench him.
You want to know what else he has 0 of?
Touchdowns.
Touchdowns, yeah.
All right, but he has to eventually get one. I feel like. Yeah.
Does he?
Yes, he does. You know who else doesn't have a touchdown?
Johnson never scored a touchdown a few years ago, so it's possible.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing that up. You know who else doesn't have a touchdown? George Pickens. Another guy here. So, he could easily be your sour pick as well. But I kind of
Steelers offense. Let's go that.
The sweet pick is, low-hanging fruit is Brock Bowers, but I actually want to go with George Pickens this week, and I believe it's a squeaky wheel gets the oil. All right. He's been getting all these questions in the media. So is Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin. I just feel like they're going to make him a part of this game plan. Now it's just on Justin Fields to execute that game plan. But you get a good matchup. You get a good matchup against the Raiders here. So I do give me George Pickens, but it's still wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside.
Even after he was absolutely milking his routes last week, even after him playing 53% of the snaps or whatever it was. That's
kind of a douchebag.
No, but we knew that, Ike. That's why everyone in the league, that's why teams just continue to pass out of him coming out of college, because that's just the way he is. You got to take it or leave it, unfortunately. And you probably wouldn't rather have a better coach than to do this, to manage his ego, than Mike Tomlin, but he seems like even
it's not working, man.
A little bit with
I keep seeing the past few years, he keeps getting into fights, he keeps doing random shit.
He's a maniac. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I agree. I love him as a player, but his mental game, his mental game is not there. It's really not.
Just like you had a gut feeling with Slayton last week, I got a gut feeling with Pickens.
I'm all right with it, Mike, because he's so freaking talented, man. But we'll stay with you, man. Unmute yourself. Who is your sour play?
Man, I hate this. It's Najee Harris. You can play him, if in the flex, but he's not an RB2 with the volume.
Don't play him, Mike.
Well, here, all right. You got Najee Harris, Bucky Irving, and Antonio Gibson. Start 2.
Bucky.
No, start 2.
I'd rather start Antonio Gibson.
You have to.
It's Gibson and Najee, I think.
No,
I'm starting Chase Brown over Najee Harris.
It's Najee until Cordell Patterson or Jalen Warren is back. That's the only reason. There's nobody else behind him, so they have to.
I mean, even with them gone, he's still bad.
I understand that, but it's just about he is literally the only guy.
Let's just hope you have a better option.
All right.
Not if you have those 3.
Next game we got here, guys, the battle in the NFC South. We got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers. Falcons -6 here. Gabe total of 47. Panthers are without tight end Tommy Tremble. He's still dealing with the effects from the Jaquan Brisker hit last week, who's also dealing with the effects. You got Deontay Johnson, Ian Thomas, questionable as well for the Panthers. Everyone's pretty healthy for the Falcons. Mike, we'll start with you here, man. Go sour, sweet, whatever you want to do. You got to go Reese's Pieces, or do you want to go Swedish Fish? You can take a guess which one was good and which one's bad.
I mean, Swedish Fish ain't bad, but
oh, dude, they get all jacked up, stuck in your teeth, and
they're
stuff.
Not bad, but they're not Reese's Pieces. My Reese's Pieces here is Bijan. I'm taking the low hanging fruit because he's been an RB too. I mean, there's worse.
That's fair. Fair enough.
You can run all over the Panthers. Second best matchup here. I think Bijan. It's a get right game for him, so it's Bijan. Even though he's been RB2. Lock and loaded for his first 20-point performance of the year, I hope.
He's only saying that because he's on his team.
Oh, let's wait for the Jets matchup, Mr. Brees Hall owner.
It's not Brees Hall at all, remotely.
Is he
He's my sour pick, actually. He's my sour pick.
Where are you going here, Ike?
It's Drake London. 9+ targets in 3 straight games. He is the number 1 target in that offense. Sorry, Bijan owners. He is not the guy anymore. He looks worse than Tyler Algier, to be honest. So take that with what you will. You still got to start him, but temper expectations for that guy.
I don't know how he looks worse than Tyler Algier when, Algier last week. Let's look at it here. How many rushing yards did he have?
Bijan's too concentrated on shooting.
Oh, yeah. Six attempts for 12 rushing yards Algier had last week.
If you actually watched the game, you would know he had more rush yards, but they were called back from flags from the offensive line. All right,
that's part of the game.
I don't want to hear it from you right now because you clearly didn't watch the Falcons game. So let's just move on.
We saw it with DK last night. I mean, he had.
We saw what with DK? He can't get his feet in the lines. He can't get his feet in the lines.
Touchdown called back from an illegal shift.
Yeah, later he did.
54-yard touchdown. Yeah, we can play that game all day.
Let us have nice things. Let us have nice things. Let it be in motion. Who cares about illegal shifts and stuff, man? Let's let DK score.
That's not legal, man.
Ike or Mike, whatever your name is, man. We'll kick it to you, man. What do you got?
I already gave my. It was Bijan.
Did we do sweet and sour?
No, I didn't give my sour. He gave his sweet. It was Drake London. My sour pick is Chuba Hubbard. You're starting him, but this Falcons run defense is stout. If Chuba has a game, it's just going to be based on his, 6 targets that he's getting, every week. So, I mean, you're starting him, but
it's been nice.
RB2, worst case scenario, he's going to be a solid, not even a solid flex play.
All right, I feel you. Ike, what do you got?
I don't mind the Chuba one. That's fine. I also think you can also say Bijan Robinson because he's been.
I was going to say, why didn't you say Bijan Robinson?
Because I think he's going to be fine. He's not going to win you a week. He's not going to lose you a week. But
who scores more points this week, Bijan or Brees?
Bijan.
All right,
Mike. What is Bijan's ceiling? I might have asked this to you last week.
It ain't CFC like we thought it was.
Agreed. What is it? He hasn't scored 20 fantasy points this year. I don't think he scored over 15 fantasy points.
No, he's usually around 15 to 18, I think.
We get it. He's got an okay floor because of the volume he sees and everything. But what is his ceiling? Like what?
I honestly think he's Kamara.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bigger Kamara. It's just he's not as physical as Kamara. It seems like.
Well, that's a good ceiling then.
Like Keith always says, Bijan's afraid to run through somebody, and that's why they bring in Algier. But it's a souped up Kamara.
Less touchdown prone Kamara. Kamara likes to find the end zone more than Bijan, so I'd say a light Kamara.
All right. Before we move on to the next one, we got another question. I start Singletary / Tyrod Taylor Gibson if Cook is out.
Yeah, James Cook didn't practice today. It's not looking good for him to play this week. If Singletary plays, I'd play Singletary, but if it's not Singletary, I go Tyrone Tracy.
It's still Tracy for me too. After what we saw last week, dude,
not if Singletary plays. If Singletary plays,
agreed. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree.
If he's out, it's Tyrone Tracy.
From Samuel here, picking one: Trey Sermon, Rico Dowdle, or Najee.
Sermon.
Yeah.
I think Sermon offers you a higher.
He played well last week. Or not he scored fine.
Fell into the end zone. He
scored fantasy points fine.
I think Sermon with his matchup just has a higher ceiling. I think Dowdle still has a higher floor, though. It's just his ceiling's cut down playing the Lions. So I mean, if you play,
I would go in that order: Sermon, Dowdle, and Najee.
I'd go Dowdle, Sermon, Najee.
All right. 3 games left, guys. The last afternoon game is the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys, guys. Guess the line here one more time. The last time. Who do you think's favored in this game, and by how much? Dallas is at
Lions 3.5.
Probably. It's probably 8.
Close, like Lions -3.
Fuck.
Vegas a little bit out on Dallas, man, at home even. In game total 52 points. They think a crap ton of points are going to be scored in this one. Cowboys are without Eric Kendricks, Micah Parsons on the defensive side. They could be getting Deron Bland back here, who is questionable. But Michael Plant, we'll start with you here. Who is your sweet play?
Well, if Vegas is predicting a lot of points here, then give me my man, Jameson Williams. If Trayvon Diggs is going to be on, Amon-Ra St. Brown most of the time, I mean, I don't even think Trayvon Diggs has the speed to, keep up with Jameson Williams. But when you got to over-under this high, I want Jameson Williams. When it's going to be a slugfest with the Lions, I don't want Jameson Williams. Give me my boy.
All right. I think I'm all right with that call, too. Yeah. What do you got, Ike?
Lions running backs. Play them whenever you can. They seem to be a run-first team. I know that when they do throw, it's going to go to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But if there's a deep play, it's going to go Jameson Williams. So I think all 4 can be played and feel comfortable with it.
Oh, this team's taken over the identity of Dan Campbell, man. They are a run-first team. They're physical. That's why David Montgomery is so loved and so good in this offense. Can we touch on something real quick, too? Why do we still get David Montgomery start-sit questions? No shade at anybody who's asked that to us or anything. I don't mean it a butthead way by any means. What is the difference between him and Jahmyr Gibbs? Because you will never hear a start-sit question, somebody asking if they're going to sit Jahmyr Gibbs, right? But we hear David Montgomery start-sit questions all the time. Does Jahmyr Gibbs just have a better PR? Does Gibbs just have a better PR team? Is that really what it comes down to? He's got a cooler name than David Montgomery? Is that what it is?
He does have a sweet name.
Yeah, he does. Jahmyr Gibbs. Pretty legit.
No, it just all depends on who you got. But Montgomery's a locked and loaded.
I guess it's because what you play. Like if you're in PPR, you value Jahmyr Gibbs more than you would Dave Montgomery, even though I think both get targets as well. Both get rushes. So
Monty
I get it.
scores
I get
every game.
I get what you're saying.
That's why I don't. I don't get it, man. You're obviously, you want to play both of these guys because they're both really freaking good. But yeah, no more start-sit questions with Dave Montgomery in him. He's locked in RB.
Yeah, he should be. With
RB1.
The way this team's going, start
RB1. Yeah, agreed. But sorry to go off on a little tangent there. But Mike, who is your sour play here?
I mean, answer this question then. If
this is easy, come on.
Answer this question. If you're starting Montgomery, start 2: Breece Hall, Montgomery, James Conner.
Montgomery. Oh, fuck.
Montgomery's the guy who I want locked in there out of those 3, if I'm being honest.
I agree with that.
And I'm probably starting still Breece Hall, unfortunately.
Yeah,
maybe just to see what he does with the new offense.
Yes,
with the new coaching. Yep. So,
and we'll get into that one in a little bit with Todd.
Next week, ask me that. See what happens.
get your best player of the ball. Breece Hall is your best freaking player on that team. But Mike, let's stick here on the Lions Cowboys game. Give us your sour play here.
My sour play here is going to be Sam Laporta, because whenever Jameson Williams gets involved, Sam Laporta does not, and vice versa. It's a teeter-totter here with Sam Laporta and Jameson Williams. They can't be both fed the ball. So, I mean, you're starting Laporta with how tight ends go. You're starting Laporta over Mark Andrews. But if you, I mean, no, there's no on that one.
I mean, Laporta's been bad, dude. Just look at his stats. 10 plus fantasy point per game.
But tight ends are bad right now. Laporta or Cole Kmet.
It's Laporta. It's exactly.
Is that just because name, though? Are you just doing that because name, or is it because you actually think he will be better? Because he's been under 10 every week.
Touchdown potential. That's what we're hoping for with Laporta.
Because I think when I think touchdown for Detroit, I think either Amon-Ra St. Brown, Dave Montgomery, or Jahmyr Gibbs. And then if there's a fourth guy, it's probably Jameson Williams on a deep play. And then if there's a fifth guy, it's Laporta. So I feel like he's getting phased out of the offense a little bit more than we want.
Yeah, my thoughts on Laporta is this offense really hasn't fired on all cylinders except for the last
game
that they played. But Jared Goff still even threw the ball just 18 times. He was 18 for 18. Granted,
you don't need to throw when you got that running game.
Agreed. It's this is an interesting.
And when you're going to throw to your best player, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown. You want to keep him happy more than your tight end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I agree with Laporta being the sour play. Again, he is averaging 7 points, fantasy points per game or less. So,
yeah. I want the Lions to win those Super Bowl, guys. And I'm a Bears fan in their NFC North rival. I'm just going to go out and say it. I want the Lions.
Super random.
Yeah. Dan Campbell.
I'd rather see the Bills win or something for like Josh Allen. But hey,
Bills would be cool too. But we're gonna get into the Bills too. I got something to say to the NFL once we get into that Bills game. But what do we got here for Jamie here? Laporta or Kraft, Mike? What do you got?
It's Kraft for me. It's Kraft for me. Last 3 games, Kraft has 17 targets. Sam Laporta has 9.
Kraft is also in an offense where they like to throw a lot more than the Lions, so you got to go with that. Come on.
All right, I'm with you. Okay. Well, Sunday Night Football, guys. Speaking of Sunday Night Football, I know we're going long, but I'm having fun. I'm going to bring this up anyways. Carrie Underwood, guys, gets paid $1 million per episode of Sunday Night Football to do the pregame song thing.
To sing
like $1 million per one. She does it one time a year, and she films all 18 things in a row. And she gets $18 million for doing one day of work. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. There's
wish I can sing
out there, but that's a lot.
Yeah, right. We got the Cincinnati Bengals guys taking on the New York Giants. Bengals favored by 3.5, even though they got 1 win, and they're on the road here. Game total 47 points. So Vegas likes the offense in this one. Bengals have Chase Brown, who's questionable. We do expect him to play. Giants are without Malik Neighbors and Kayvon Thibodeau, both out. Devin Singletary is questionable as well. Ike, we'll kick to you. Who is your sweet play out of this Bengals Giants game?
Chase Brown, come on. Back-to-back RB1 finishes. Although his snap percentages is not great. It's in like the under 40%, but still with the limited workload he's getting, he is performing very well, which I like. And this is a good matchup against the Giants. So 10-team leagues, probably not a good idea. But if you're in 12, 14, 16, Chase Brown is easily a good flex option for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way this offense is humming, man, there's going to be a lot of scoring opportunities. So
Yes.
I'm cool with Chase Brown, too. I'm cool with a lot of people in this Bengals offense. Mike, I'll kick it to you. Who is your sweet player here? I think I know where you're going, and I don't like it this week, even though I liked it last week.
I'm riding your wave last week. It's Darius Slayton, my man. You're my man, not Slayton, because he's your man. But he saw 11 targets last week, caught 8 of them for 122 yards and a tutty without Malik Neighbors. We're playing another game here where he's got a solid matchup, 15th best matchup for wide receivers, allowing 30-plus points to wide receivers. I just believe the Bengals are going to score on the Giants, which then in turn leads Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton here as good plays. Give me Slayton here. Another smash week.
I would temper expectations on Darius.
11 targets, man. 11
That's
targets.
fine. You can chase the targets all you want, like Dontavian Wicks. And what'd he get you?
He caught more than Dontavian Wicks. That's the thing.
But you're chasing targets from a week. It's fine. I get it. I get the love for him, but don't be surprised if he totally shits the bed for you.
Who would you rather start, Demario Douglas or Darius Slayton?
Oh, Darius Slayton, 100%.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like they
but
hate
that's
Darius
low.
Slayton.
That's low. I wouldn't be playing Demario Douglas in most leagues anyways.
Who would you rather start, Ladd McConkey or Darius Slayton?
Another easy one because I would not start Ladd in any other league.
You don't have him in any other league, so it's
I get it, but still, you're not starting him because that's a run for his team.
For someone that the Giants don't want to play Darius Slayton.
Tank Dell or Darius Slayton.
Tank Dell. Yeah, I will do Tank Dell over him.
It's closer than
my point, Mike.
Go ahead.
I try to help you with your Darius Slayton point. For somebody that they don't like, the Giants, they just keep kind of casting away until they have an injury. He just kind of walked into the Malik Neighbors role, though.
He did.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He saw 37% target share or something. It was something wild like that, man. So I
agree.
It can happen.
He can hurt you, but he can absolutely kill you as well. So
the epitome of a boomer bust play for sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one more?
Okay.
Rashid Shaheed or Darius Slayton?
Ooh, I'm going Shaheed because he's seen more. He's seen more consistency with his targets.
Yeah, with Derek Carr, not Spencer Rattler.
Dude.
I'm not gonna.
I don't know what Spencer Rattler is.
I
don't know what Spencer Rattler is, so we'll see. Maybe he just lights the shit up.
Just say the name Darius Slayton.
I hope, man. It'd be pretty cool if he did.
Pretty cool. Spencer Rattler time, man.
Who's your
fucking Baywalker coming in?
Who's your sour play, man? Whatever you guys want. Either take it away, somebody.
I mean,
it is off
the rails here. I think it's between Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. I know we said we would start him between Gibson earlier, in that one question, but they're still my players I'm tempering my expectations on in this game. I do expect the Bengals to get up big, and the Giants, there's going to be a lot of garbage points, and that's why I expect Darius Slayton to, be relevant. But that's just going to eat into the running backs.
That's fair. Ike, who's your ick here?
Zach Moss.
Okay.
Like I said, my sweet pick was Chase Brown. He's getting more, not as much as I would like, but he's getting more and more snaps. He looks better than Zach Moss the past few weeks, so that's what I'm going to go with.
All right, I'm with you. Zach was also dealing with a foot injury, but he's off the injury report, so something to pay attention to.
He was a surprise like Pittman, too. A lot of people thought he was going to be out on IR.
For sure. Monday Night Football, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. A lot of news here that happened. with the Jets this week with firing Robert Saleh, promoting Jeff Ulbrich, and demoting Nathaniel Hackett and promoting Todd Downing to be
which is apparently what Saleh was going to do anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a game total of 41 here. Khalil Shakur, James Cook, both questionable heading into this one, both trending in the wrong direction, if you ask me. Then can we just pause here for a second? Why is the NFL acting like none of us saw the camera angle of Josh Allen sleeping on the field last weekend?
Because they denied.
Josh Allen.
He was knocked out cold. Us three watched football together last week, and we all said it while we were sitting there that his arms are just limp and he's just laying there. They gave him freaking smelling salts on the sideline, guys. And you don't even talk about the C word.
Sometimes you need smelling salts to get back in the game, man. Sometimes
they needed smelling salts for his ankle that he was getting evaluated in the test. His ankle needed it.
Have you ever broken your ankle?
Stop preaching. Stop preaching player safety if you really don't care.
Dylan, you got to calm down.
No,
they're not whipping out the guillotine in less than a week and chopping somebody's head off for this. They do their internal investigations, like even Rashee Rice, Alvin Kamara, all these guys who have these issues. We usually don't get the verdicts for months in advance. I just expect the NFL to take their time, even if they do dole out a punishment.
It's crap, man. Even the Jaquan Brisker hit with Tommy Tremble last week, you could tell that he wasn't right either, and they evaluated him and let him go back in the game. When we were sitting there watching it, we're like, dude, that's not good.
Hey, you never know, man.
No, I do know.
No,
I'm not a doctor, man.
Have you got a concussion before?
If you can't tell, it pisses me off.
Yeah, I agree. They shouldn't be back in the game, but hey, if they say they're good, what can you do?
Please tell me one of your sour picks is Josh Allen. Is one of your guys' sour picks Josh Allen?
I'm never gonna.
No, mine's Breece Hall.
I'm never gonna hope for someone to get injured here, Dylan. But you care too much for someone that this affects you in no shape, way, or form.
I just don't like hypocrites, and that's what the NFL constantly is. Even though I love this game, I love this league, I love football to my core. They're pieces of shit, man. Sorry.
My sour pick here is whatever the running back is in replace James Cook. Ty Johnson, Ray Davis. I'm not starting anyone. I think it's going to be a passing game against the Jets for the Bills, even though, like you said, Josh Allen's coming off most likely a concussion. But that's my sour play. I tell him why Breece Hall is your sour play. I'm intrigued.
So I am the Breece Hall owner here in this podcast.
Sounds like you're a little sour on him just because you're
been good. In the past back-to-back weeks, he's been RB 34 or worse. His average yards per carry is about 3.1 or worse, maybe even worse than that. Under 3, it could be worse than that. But still, he's going to get the touches in the passing game, so he is worth starting in that case. But temper expectations, he's not going to win you a week for the foreseeable future until he starts figuring shit out, because this offensive line is brutal. The quarterback is playing bad. Pretty much the whole team is playing bad.
I disagree.
I was going to say, I'll push back a little bit, Mike. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just feel like this has overcorrection written all over it. This feels like a game where Breece Hall is going to
I don't know about overcorrection. But it's a
change. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, Bray Allen is a thing, though.
Yeah, but
so he's going to get carries too.
That thing saw 26% of the snaps to 73% of the snaps for Breece Hall. So Breece Hall's just out on the field more. It's just they need to get him the ball more. And this is a primo matchup. Bills are allowing the most points to running backs. One of only 2 teams that are allowing 30-plus points to running backs. The other ones is the Panthers, which is why I asked you between Bijan and Breece. These could be get-right games for both of them.
That's fine, but still, when you're averaging under 3 yards per carry, there's not even the best matchup not going to save you.
But maybe he
just sucks.
The thing about the Bills that will, actually benefit Breece Hall is the Bills majority of the time play zone defense, which you can run on. You can run on zone defense a lot better than you can run on man defense. They don't blitz. They just sit back and zone the whole time. They don't want the big play going over their head. Which
I don't know if you've watched Breece Hall the past few weeks. Like, it's been so bad that even I think I can run better than him. He literally just stands there,
you're also 2 beers in,
and then falls. It's just bad, man. He looks bad. I get it. Everybody wants him to be good, but I would temper expectations on him for sure for a while.
All right, fair. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. Like, I'm just surprised nobody saw her play with Josh Allen after he's 9 of 30 last week without his safety blanket, Khalil Shakir, in the lineup.
And he hasn't
Khalil's back, so he should be fine.
No,
yeah,
Khalil is.
No, he's not. He's very questionable.
I think it's a game time decision for
him. He
him.
hasn't practiced all week. From what I've seen. But who do we like, guys? Let's talk a little bit of positivity. I brought the vibes down a little bit with my Josh Allen rant. So give me a sweet pick here. Who do you guys love in this matchup?
It's why I disagree with Ike. My love pick's Breece. I think this is a game where
I like that for my fantasy team. So
where him and Bijan, I think both can get 20+ points this week. They're great get right weeks. The volume is still there. The snaps are still there. So give me Breece as a game-winning week, finally.
What do you got, Ike, here?
I get what he's saying, but unfortunately the snaps aren't what you would like. He's still under 80% other than the first week, so it's something to worry about with Braylon Allen looking better in some cases, not so much in the pass game, but in the running game he seems more explosive, so that's something to worry about. He's not going to be the top 5-10 running back you draft him as, but I mean, he's gonna be fine for you.
Who's your sweet play though? Who do you love?
I don't really have one. This game's gonna be weird. I guess you can say Garrett Wilson because he had so many targets. They're gonna want to get him the ball again some more. But I don't know. I think this game's gonna be low scoring, defensive, more running game, all that, but I don't know. Choose who you want from this game. Garrett Wilson, if you want to play Breece, obviously you got to play Breece Hall, but there's not many other players you want to play from this game.
All I got to say is I said last week Garrett Wilson would have his best performance of the week. He finishes wide receiver 5. I'm saying Breece Hall will have his best performance of the year this week as well.
Yeah, like that. Another guy that you could like is Tyler Conklin. He looks decent for tight ends with how bad they're playing. So if you're down bad on tight end, pick him up.
Yeah. No, I'm all right with that call as well, guys. But that does it here for the Katie Shop Fantasy Football Podcast. I would appreciate everyone that's been listening here, watching us for an hour and a half that we've been going. I know it went a little long, but
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes we ramble on, sometimes we argue, but that's what makes it fun, in my opinion. I have a lot of fun doing this. I also have a lot of fun doing the Sunday show with my guy Michael Plant up there. Guys, we got Alan Sandage come on, does our best bets. Gets on. He will not be there this Eastern week. Time. He's gone this week too.
Yeah, him and Joe are gone this week. They're going to the Commanders game against Ravens.
All right. So I don't know who we'll have for our best bets, and I don't. And
I think we're gonna go Matt again.
We're
gonna go Matt again, and I don't believe we'll have a rankings segment. Unfortunately,
you won't have me.
Well, yeah, but that just means we'll get to the start sit section sooner because we're gonna have Ike filling in for JJ.
Oh,
yeah. So
all right. So we'll be there, guys. All right. See you Sunday.
Ike, you're coming.
A little bit of a wild card group this weekend, but that all starts at 10:30 Eastern time. Make sure to check that out, guys. It's a ton of fun. And then wrapping up the last hour of the show, right up until kickoff, we got the DFS guys, Chris Robin and Keith Fleming, who do a great job with the DFS stuff. So make sure to tune in, guys. But yeah, for Michael Plant and for Ike Bonnie, the Mike and Ikes, I'm Dylan Clemens. We'll talk to you guys next week. The candy shop is closed.
Bye.